Now we're really up close and personal, aren't we? But, oh my lord, you're about to see every pore I ever had in my life. All my stray hairs I haven't plucked. All that kind of fun stuff. But let me start out by saying that I did one brow already, obviously. But that's because it kind of takes me the longest, like minute for minute comparison, like ratio to do my eyebrows than any other combination of anything. Yeah, so I'm doing, I did one eyebrow off camera just to save time, and it's not that big a deal because the same steps I did for this eyebrow, I'm gonna do on this eyebrow, and it's not rocket science, certainly, but it does take practice and it does take time. Certainly for eyebrows like mine, as you can see, this one is pretty filled in. This is my full-on, you know, Instagram brow, basically. My hair is dark. I haven't dyed it in over a year. I'm trying to be more healthy again. So my natural hair color is very dark. So I kind of have to make my brows darker. I don't personally care for the really dark hair and then the lighter eyebrows. It doesn't look good on me. So for my eyebrows, obviously you would change products depending on your own personal eyebrows, but for my eyebrows right now I'm using this darker color. I have two of these kind of pencils. Hopefully you can see the difference in colors there. This one here obviously is darker than this one. I kind of change them out. Sometimes I'll use them both at the same time. It really depends on my mood or the day. But this one in particular, it's called Black and Brown. Like I said, it's not rocket science, it just takes practice. I do really love these ColourPop pencils because it has a very thin tip here. I have so many different eyebrow products, but I find that the thinner tip just works better for me. I can do hair-like strokes if I need to or want to, and it's just a little bit more precise. And for your eyebrows, you kind of want precise, at least for me in this tutorial. So I'm just gonna go ahead and line underneath, just like that. And I don't want it to be a harsh line, so I'm just gonna go back and forth between the point of the pencil and the spoolie that's on them. I'm gonna go ahead and do the tail here. Now if you can see on camera, I don't know if you can or not, I have very sparse hairs on my tail. Most of my hair grows right in here, not too much up here, and hardly any on the tail. So I'm kind of a little bit more liberal with the shape of my tail since there's not much hair. So I will go and on the outer portion of where the hair grows to make it look like my tail's a little bit longer and fuller. Just fill it in. I also have a scar here, a very little scar. So hair doesn't grow there anyway, so I have to be really careful and just fill it in. I don't want it to look like Sharpie, you know, Sharpie eyebrows. And I don't think they're anything special, but I do get a lot of compliments on my eyebrows for whatever reason. Brows have been living their best life for, I want to say, the last like 2 or 3 years. Never heard anything about brows, and then all of a sudden it's all about eyebrows, and I have strangers, male and female, commenting on my eyebrows, which is interesting, but if they only knew. If they only knew the crazy lengths I have to go through. I have been growing them out for a little while. I'm just going in little tiny movements here. You don't want broad strokes. Like, this isn't a coloring book. You're not trying to create any kind of broad strokes. Just filling in a little bit at a time. Brushing through as you go. And then you always want to kind of look back at the other eye, because obviously you can only do one eye at a time, and see if the shape is as similar as you can get it. Because unless you're using a stencil, your eyebrows are going to be different. You can try and make them look as similar as possible. I mean, sometimes it gets away from me and they ain't even homies. They're not even friends. Like, one's doing its own thing, the other one's off on, you know, a road trip. I don't know what the hell's going on, but more often than not, I can kind of fib it, you know. And I fill in mostly, I want to say 3/4 of the way with a pencil, going lighter as far as pressure and coverage towards the inner portion of the eye. And then again, looking at my eyebrows from all angles. You want to look up, you want to look down. Always look down. Don't forget to look down, because I didn't used to do that before, and then sometimes I would look down doing something else, like reapplying a lip gloss or something, and then I would see like they would be just like, oh yeah. Look at all angles. Look at them from all angles. As you can see here, when I look at this angle, I want this line to be a little bit more straight. It looks like it's curved, and I don't want a curve there. So since I looked at this angle, I can just fix it. See? Much better. Now you don't have to do the same shape as I am doing. This is just the shape that is on my face at the moment. Now I'm going in with this brow powder here. You don't necessarily have to use a brow powder. I am using a brow powder. I feel it kind of sets the pencil. So to kind of set it in place, just like you would set, you know, other parts of your makeup. I've never used really a brow set like a mascara or a gel. I haven't, but that's just me. They didn't have brow gels really when I was coming up, so it just was never part of my makeup story. So I'm old. I'm setting my ways, and what works for me, if it still works for me, I'm going to continue to do it. So, but as you can see, I'm going in with the two colors, tapping mostly into the darker color and then going into the lighter color just for a little bit of depth and definition. And I'm filling in where I didn't use the pencil, and that's just closer to the actual, I guess, beginning of the brow, the inner corner here. And I don't worry too much about it going off the rails. Like, I went up a little bit on there. I don't know if you can see that, but I know I'm going to clean it up with some concealer in just a bit, so I'm not too worried about that. So you can see this is all real time. I might edit out a little bit because I coughed earlier. And I'll edit that part out, but I'll try not to edit too much out so you can see how long it actually takes me to do my brows. Today wasn't too bad, I'm not gonna lie. It took me longer to do this brow off camera than it did this one on camera. For whatever reason, this has always been the easiest brow for me to do. For concealer, I'm just using this NYX concealer that I've had for a bajillion years. This is the only thing I use this concealer for, cleaning up my brows, and I've been able to use it for a really, really long time. This brush, I've had it forever, so I don't even know who made it, where I got it, but this is the shape of it. I like the tapered point for my eyebrows. Again, that's just what I'm comfortable with. Use what you're most comfortable with, and I don't do the whole paint the line of concealer and blend it out. I don't do that. I personally do not do that. No shade to people that do. If you're comfortable with it, if it works for you, girl, go ahead. So I'm gonna go up a little higher on this brow, because when I look, this one is a bit thicker, and it's just easier to add to this one than to try and take away and match, and then you're back and forth, and it's that whole situation. So I'm just gonna add just a tiny bit to the top here to try and match the girth, the thickness. Both of those words. Oh Lord Jesus. Okay. And just fill it in a little bit more with some powder. I don't want to rub too much. I'm just kind of placing it. just for a bit more control. Again, like I said, you don't need to use a brow powder. I used to use eyeshadows all the time for my eyebrows. That is pretty much it, as I still adjust, and you kind of have to be comfortable with not perfection. Does that make sense? You have to be comfortable with them looking good enough. Once you put the rest of your makeup on, once I put the rest of my makeup on, they'll look a lot more even than I feel they do now. But like I said, don't get bogged down with them looking exactly perfect, because they never will. But yeah, that is pretty much it for my brows. Let me go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and I'll come right back. Okay guys, so all my makeup is done. You can see that the eyebrows look a little bit better once all your face is done. When it's just your eyebrows without all the other stuff, it can look a little too harsh. You know what I mean? Especially because I was using a pretty dark pencil when there's no eyeshadow or blush or contour or any of that kind of thing. It can look a little bit strange. So as you can see, once I slapped everything else onto my face, the eyebrows look a lot better. They do, you know, frame your face nicely. They should frame your face nicely. That is the whole point of kind of shaping them and filling them in if you need it. If you don't need to fill in your brows, don't fill in your brows. I'm just saying, take it from me, someone that overplucked for way too long in the early 90s. I regret it, because those areas, they don't grow back. And yeah, so if you have naturally full and gorgeous eyebrows, do not overpluck them. Fill in only where you need, and yeah, that's my advice. But yeah, there you go. That is how I do my brows. And like I said, you hear the truck? Is there like a truck station near here? Why are there so many trucks? Whatever. Anyway, yeah, I filmed some other videos like besides this one today, and I've been hearing nothing but trucks in the damn shit. So usually my videos, at least lately, have been voiceovers, so I didn't have to worry about any of the noise in the neighborhood. So maybe it was always this noisy, but I just didn't notice. I don't know. Anyway, God, I ramble so much, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try and oh, my back hurts. I'm gonna try and do less rambling in 2018. I don't know how that's gonna work out, because I haven't been able to control my rambling in 43 years. So, well, I should say 42 years. I wasn't talking, I don't think, until I was like 1 year old. But anyway, there she goes, rambling about not rambling. Yeah. Okay, anyway guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for visiting me today. I hope you learned a little something, maybe. And if not, I hope you were at least entertained by my foolishness. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.